I've got something to show you guys that's on Origins, and this is something I've always wondered about, and now we finally have the answers as to what it is and where it's from. This is a type of Easter egg that I've mentioned in previous videos. It's called an out-of-map Easter egg, and what that means is that it's based on something that is in real life or a real-life event, and they used it and themed something after it in the game. On Origins, you descend underground into a passage tomb or like a chamber tomb, and you can see all these carvings all over the walls. And then the carved patterns are absolutely everywhere. When you go into the crazy place, they are all over the walls and the stones in there. These patterns are a huge iconic part of Origins, and yeah, I've always wondered, like, what are these from? What's the idea here? I know a lot of what they do is based on real life. So I was thinking maybe these are too. And yeah, they are. So we know that Origins is based on the ancients or the keepers. And from the Chronorium, it's saying that they were the first beings and they're extremely old. And the carvings are clearly there to tell us some kind of story or backstory to these keepers. And these carvings exist in real life, and it makes sense why they use them. And I'll show you guys all that information, but first I'll talk a little bit about how they're used in Origins. Most people might know that Origins codename is Tomb, and the tomb area is all the underground area, and it's where there's a large deposit of element 115. The ancients or the keepers would harness the power of element 115 by carving these intricate patterns into the stone, and then they could power up these stones with the element 115. When you go into the crazy place, you can see that happening. You can see the element 115 glowing throughout all of the carvings. Then you can see how it powered up the stones, like when you go and open up the portals to go through each of them to get the crystals for the staffs. So that's the history in a nutshell. They use the stones and the carvings to harness the power of 115 and then power up other things. And in real life, these carvings do exist, and that's what our stones and carvings are based off of in Origins. However, they don't have the whole element 115 magical powers, obviously, but they are extremely famous and really fascinating. And I gotta really give it to Jason and the crew at Treyarch for putting this kind of detail into the map. This is awesome. Like, these guys really thought this stuff out. So these carvings are based on a prehistoric tomb that exists that's also in France, like Origins. And then it's also a tomb like Origins is, and it's called Gavernisse Tomb in Brittany, France. This place is a megalithic monument, and it's notable for its abundance of megalithic art. And basically what that is prehistoric carvings on stone. This was built about 5,500 years ago. It is extremely old and even older than the pyramids. The burial chamber has these long corridors, and the walls are lined with these giant stones with this megalithic art carved into them. And this tomb here is one of the world's major surviving sources for megalithic art. The carvings on the stone at Gavernisse Tomb are called fingerprint patterns, and Treyarch went ahead and named the files that are for the stones the same thing. They're calling them fingerprint as well. And it's cool that they did that, but we already knew that yes, the Gavernisse Tomb is what they used to design Origins with. Now, they don't know who was buried here, but they have studied the carvings, and the carvings are actually something pretty spectacular. Scholars and researchers were able to determine that whoever did this were an advanced race of people, because all of these carvings are mathematical equations. The carvings show the perfect size of the Earth's circumference. It also shows how many days in the year there are, and then it shows the mathematical constant of pi. But the most impressive thing is that it shows the longitude and latitude coordinates of its location. Like, how did they know that back then? So in addition to it being visually similar to Origins, you also have the backstory that's kind of similar. You've got two advanced races that are extremely old and prehistoric. I just appreciate what they did, because these out-of-map Easter eggs have got me traveling the world and learning about stuff I normally would have never known about. I know Jason had said in an interview that he went around the world world and looked for cool stuff. So it looks like we're kind of on his journey and finding his trail of cool stuff he encountered. But yeah, it's good to finally know what all of this was. I'd always wondered. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll see you next video.
Thank you for watching Glitching Queen's video. Hoorah!